We live in a world where everyone has been talking about automation and how automation will change the world. But to automate tedious tasks, we need to design the automation first, right? So to do that, we need an RPA developer. So hi all, this is Sahiti on behalf of Edureka, and I welcome you to this session on RPA developer salary. In this session, guys, we'll focus about the global RPA developer salary, and I'll tell you why every enterprise needs an RPA developer. So without any further ado, let's get started with the topics for today's session. So the topics for today's session are, as you can see on my screen. We'll start this session with who is an RPA developer, and then I'll talk about the RPA developer job trends. After that, I'll discuss the RPA developer skills, and then I'll talk about the RPA developer salary trends. After talking about the salary trends, I'll also talk about how the salary of an RPA developer varies based on the positions, the company, and also on the geographic locations. On that note, let's get started with the first topic for today's session, that is, who is an RPA developer? Now, all of us know that robotic process automation is a technology wherein we have to automate tasks using the RPA tools present in the market. So RPA developers are sophisticated designers of automation tasks with hands-on experience in the top RPA tools of the market. RPA developers work for enterprises and are responsible for problem solving and designing the automation based on the client's requirement. Now, after the automation is designed and is rolled into the production, RPA developer also makes sure that the designed automation is achieving the desired results. So we can conclude by saying that RPA developer is any professional who has knowledge about robotic process automation and is inquisitive to automate tasks using various tools. Now, the top tools present in the market are mainly UiPath, Blue Prism, and Automation Anywhere. Right, so if you want to know in depth about all the three tools, you can refer to my sessions on UiPath, Blue Prism, and Automation Anywhere. But coming back to the topic, if you just have to understand who is an RPA developer, then it's really simple. An RPA developer is someone who can automate tasks with the help of the top tools and can also document the required files. So now that I've told you who is an RPA developer, let me take you through the job trends of an RPA developer. So the job trends of an RPA developer is, as you can see on my screen, you can see that the graph is continuously growing and the job vacancy is continuously increasing. Now this is mainly because people have heard of the term robotic process automation, but nobody exactly knows how to do it and which tasks can be automated. So this leaves quite a gap for the professionals who know actually what is robotic process automation and how to automate tasks. So if I have to explain you with an analogy, consider you have a group of 6 people of software developers or maybe related to the IT field. So if you ask them how many of them know Java, definitely most of them will know. But if the same question goes to RPA and then you ask them how many know how to automate tasks using the tools like UiPath, Blue Prism, and Automation Anywhere, hardly there'll be a few. So once you get started with RPA, you'll automatically see that you'll have a lot of job opportunities for different roles. So I would say the job vacancy of RPA developers is continuously increasing day by day, and people are getting good amount of salaries. Now, before I tell you the salary trends of RPA developer, let me just quickly give you a stats about the job trends based on the geographic locations. Like in United States, the number of jobs are around 5,000. In United Kingdom, the number of jobs are around 512, and in India, the number of jobs are around 3,000. So as you can see, the numbers are quite good, and RPA developer career opportunities will only shoot through the roof as both startups and well-established companies are offering lucrative salaries to the RPA developers. So before we move forward with the RPA developer salary trend, let me talk about the skills required to become an RPA developer. So the skills required to become an RPA developer are, as you can see on my screen. The first and the most important skill is to have hands-on experience in the top RPA tools. So you cannot become an RPA developer until you've had a hands-on experience in top RPA tools and actually know how to automate tasks using these tools. So if you ask me what are the top 3 tools, then I would say UiPath, Blue Prism, and Automation Anywhere are the top 3 tools in today's market. So you can go forward and learn about those tools and get hands-on experience in them. Now moving on to the next skill. Next skill which is required is strong problem solving and analytical skills. Well, this is mainly required because you have to understand the client's requirement, and then you have to analyze whether that particular requirement or the task given by the client can be automated or not. And after that, if you can automate it, then you also have to debug the solutions also, right? So for example, if there's an error, you have to sit and debug that. So an RPA developer requires strong problem and analytical skills. Next, an RPA developer also requires constant good communication skills with other business partners to develop and deploy their ideas. So this basically helps the team to ensure that what can be created within what time frame and what are its requirements. So with good communication, I would say all the basic ideology or maybe all the basic requirements are clearly analyzed. After that, what is required is good knowledge of the different stages of RPA lifecycle As because an RPA developer deals with almost all the stages of RPA lifecycle, even if there are a lot of teams in an enterprise for each and every stage. But an RPA developer is a person who oversees the complete stages of RPA lifecycle. So if you want to know more about RPA lifecycle, you can refer to my session on RPA lifecycle. Now moving forward, an RPA developer must have exposure to SQL databases. So basically any professional who understands SQL databases and understands how to access and manipulate data in databases can very well go forward and get into the automation field. Now after that, the next skill that is very important is basically that an RPA developer must know how to design technical specification document for RPA projects. So all the technical specifications required for a project must be clearly specified by an RPA developer for further usage also, and maybe while they're working on the project. Moving on to the next skill that is required is experience with analysis, design, and implementation of process. So once the process definition documentation is done and then the process is ready to get into the designing stage, an RPA developer must know how to take forward the design and how to create different steps for the automation. After that, an RPA developer must have good coding skills in .NET, C#, and VB scripting. Now, generally, this is one of the most common confusion that I've seen, that people often say that you do not require programming knowledge for RPA developers. I would not say it's wrong, because a person working on RPA works on RPA tools, and most of the RPA tools are completely based on the drag and drop activities, right? So if you just want to do a for loop or a while loop, you don't have to sit and write a code for it. You can just drag and drop an activity and then do the required actions. But I'm saying that it's beneficial to have good programming skills in .NET, C#, and VB scripting, because most of the RPA tools are completely based on these programming languages, right? So if you have a good understanding of these programming languages, you'll also understand better what's happening in the background. Apart from that, an additional skill could be that you have basic understanding of the Lean Six Sigma process methodologies, and then you're also certified in certifications like the ITIL, TOGAF, PMP, COBIT, and Prince2. So guys, these certifications are not mandatory to become an RPA developer. They'll just add on to your skill for team management. But yes, all the other skills that I'd mentioned before are a requirement to become an RPA developer. So now that I've told you who is an RPA developer, the job trends of an RPA developer, and the skills required to become one, let's move forward with the session and take a look at the RPA developer's salary trends. So according to Indeed.com, the average salary of an RPA developer, estimated from around 18,000 users, employees, and past and present job advertisements, the salary ranges from around $92,000 for a developer to $96,000 for a senior consultant. Similarly, if you talk about the case in India, according to Indeed.com again, the developer salary ranges from around 5 lakh rupees to a senior developer salary ranges from around 7.2 lakhs. So that's a good amount of money, right? Now, not only talking about Indeed.com, if we take into another research, so according to Glassdoor, the average salary of an RPA developer in United States is around $96,000. And in India, it's around 7,62,000 rupees. So that's a good amount of money that I think. So I think anybody who is going forward to become an RPA developer or is looking forward to change his or her domain to the field of automation, then I think you should go forward and upskill yourself in your careers, or maybe you can start your career in robotic process automation. So we at Edureka offer certification trainings for UiPath and Automation Anywhere, and we are also one of the official training partners for Automation Anywhere. So if you want to get good hands-on experience on UiPath and Automation Anywhere, then you can refer to our curriculum on edureka.co. So that was about the salary trend of RPA developers, guys. Now, an RPA developer's salary trend also varies based on various factors. So it's not just with this particular profession, but I think it's with every other profession also, right? So maybe a role which is very popular in India might not be popular in other geographic locations. So that could happen. So for your better understanding, what I've done is I've segregated the average salary of an RPA developer based on the positions, the companies, and the geographic locations, that is based on various states in the United States and India. So starting with positions based in United States, if you consider, there could be various positions related to RPA developer. So when I say various positions related to RPA developer, either you can start as a fresher from a junior developer, or maybe you can upskill yourself and maybe become a solution architect, software testing manager, senior consultant, .NET developer, and so on. So these are few salaries that I've segregated out from Indeed.com, right? So for a solution architect, the salary is around $1,42,000. Coming to software testing manager, salary is around $1,17,000. Moving on to senior process engineer, over here, let me tell you that senior process engineer is one of the most famous roles in RPA industry. So the average salary for this particular role is around $1 lakh. After that, coming to senior consultant. So senior consultant can earn around $96,000. A .NET developer can also earn around $93,000 on an average. Coming to developer, the developer starts at $91,000, and similarly, process engineer and process manager earn around $87,000 to $74,000. After that, we also have a role that is business process analyst. Now, business process analyst is a person who works into the complete process of the RPA life cycle. So that person earns around an average salary of $71,000, and coming to junior developer. So the junior developer earns around $62,000 per year. So all these stats are really great to see, and I hope all these stats are really great, and I think you can get started from either being a junior developer, or maybe if you're already experienced from around 7 to 8 years in the RPA field, then you can go forward and become the solution architect or the RPA architect. So that was about the scenario in United States, guys. Now let's move forward and look into the scenario of the same positions in India. Now in India, the salary trend for various positions vary a little bit. For example, in India, a solution architect earns around 12 lakh per year. A senior process engineer earns around 11 lakhs per year. A senior consultant earns around 9 lakhs, and a process manager earns around 7 lakh 54,000. After that, coming to the developer role, the developer starts with 5 lakh 36,000, and then coming to business process analyst. A business process analyst earns around 3 lakhs. Coming to testing manager, so the testing manager, the .NET developer, the process engineer, and junior developer, all of them earn around 2 lakhs. So if you observe, few roles which were popular in United States are not that popular in India, right? So that's the reason I had segregated the salaries based on different positions and geographic locations. So I hope that you've got an idea about the different salary trends based on the positions. Now let's move forward and look into the salary trends based on companies, right? Now there are a lot of companies hiring for RPA developers. As you know, almost all startups to hypergrowth companies need to automate tasks to survive in this competition world. Almost everybody wants to automate their tasks, that is tedious mundane tasks, and they want to use the human resource in a better way rather than just doing the tedious tasks. So there are various companies offering, but from the lot I've just segregated few companies, as you can see on my screen. So UiPath offers around $71,000, Automation Anywhere offers around $57,000, and Zymergen offers around $50,000 for an RPA developer. So you can get started with the developer role in the RPA field from any of the top companies by getting the hands-on experience, and I'm sure you'll upskill yourself definitely. So that was about the salary trend based on companies, guys. Now let's move forward with the final one, that is the salary trend based on geographic locations. So what I've done is I've considered various states in United States and in India, right? So talking about United States first, according to Indeed.com, the average salary range for RPA developers in New York ranges around from $95,000 to $130,000. Similarly, in Washington, it ranges around $80,000 to $115,000. In Chicago, it ranges from around $82,000 to $115,000 again. In Atlanta, it ranges from around $82,000 to $111,000. Finally, in Seattle, it ranges from around $88,000 to $121,000. So if you observe, New York has the highest average salary range, as it ranges from $95,000 to $130,000. In India, if you remember, I said that the average salary of an RPA developer is around 7 lakhs. So if you consider it state-wise, then Bangalore has an average salary range from around 5,84,000 rupees to 10,58,000 rupees. Hyderabad has around 5,62,000 to 12,23,000. Pune has around 4,28,000 to 9,69,000. Chennai ranges from around 5,48,000 to 11,20,000. And finally, coming to Mumbai, Mumbai ranges from around 5,61,000 rupees to 14 lakhs. So according to me, this is a huge amount of money, and I can only see that RPA developers' career is just shooting up, and the salary trends are continuously increasing. Now, before I end this session, I would like to tell you that RPA is one such field that anybody can get into, right? So even if you're from IT background or maybe non-IT background, or maybe if you want to upskill yourself, then RPA is one of the most interesting fields that you can go forward and upskill yourself, because it's just about automation, and nowadays organizations are looking for professionals who know how to automate tasks. So since organizations are aiming to use the human resource in a better way than doing the mundane tasks, professionals who know robotic process automation and have hands-on experience in various tools are in high demand. So if you're someone who's looking to get into an interesting career, I think now would be the right time to upskill and take the advantage of the automation career opportunities that come your way. So with that note, I end my session today. I hope you found this session informative. So if you have any further queries related to the session, please comment in the comment section below. Until then, that's all from my side today. Thank you and happy learning.